Anyone who's a film enthusiast or works in one way or another with film is bound to be asked repeatedly the following question. What's your favorite movie? And I've always found the predictable, oh, I cannot possibly choose just one, the most boring answer one can give, so I've always answered, Hamlet. No, the Kenneth Branagh one. Some people see a big difference between your favorite film and the one you consider the best of all time, but I've always considered those metrics the same thing. Why would I love a film so much if it doesn't build a strong case through narrative, form, style and quality for being the best, right?
What a heathen.
I love this movie, and I'm making this video to tell you why.
Let us haste to hear it.
The screenplay. It's Hamlet. It's literally, and I do mean literally, Hamlet.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us.
Every single one of the 30,000 plus words of Hamlet is spoken in the movie. If you turn on the subtitles and watch it, you can mark it as read on Goodreads and impress your friends.
God's bodkin, man, much better!
This movie's dialogue is the high point of English literature. And that is something the movie's most ardent enemy cannot deny.
How express and admirable.
What, you don't like Shakespeare? 1. You're wrong. 2. History likes him. Mankind likes him. Time and human culture have hermetically canonized him. And almost everyone will agree Hamlet is Shakespeare's masterpiece. Unless you're one of those punks from the King Lear school. As far as our mortal lives go, this is the best dialogue anyone will ever have written.
This majestical roof, fretted with golden fire.
Cinema is the culmination of all the arts, and Kenneth Branagh captured one of the most elevated works of literature genius ever wrought, uncut, and gave it new life in a new art form. With a text such as this, no film can compete. It's not even fair.
Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief.
And speaking of the arts, Patrick Doyle's music. It's gorgeous. That's all I can say about the music. Now the production design. Look at all that lush. Tim Harvey, you master builder. The walls, the floors, carpets, tables, paintings, props, decor, mirrors, curtains, candles, stairs, patterns and more mirrors. This is what 70mm and the widescreen were invented for. Simply looking around is already an artistic experience. Every inch has a detail to admire. Rich color and texture, luxurious and in good taste.
Rich, not gaudy.
The many-mirrored main hall is one of the most creative sets ever made. It's not only filled with hidden passages that everybody knows and uses day to day, but this stately room is repurposed for just about everything. Political matters, wedding ceremonies, national fence team practice, waiting room, theater, duels, coronation, sanatorium? And it's so grand and wondrous it somehow makes sense. I love how they improvised an auditorium with the top seat on the balcony.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
But still, is one of the hall's rooms, with a vertical peephole, the best place to turn into a padded cell for a mental patient? When the courtiers are having a ball, do they ask about those weird noises to be told? Oh, don't worry, that's just the murdered Prime Minister's crazy daughter hitting the walls. The time has come to talk about the direction. The wonderful direction. The wonderful staging and camera work. What Kenneth Branagh does, helped by DP Alex Thomson, is a bit, okay, not a bit, it's 4 hours long. It's a lot of everything.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
With over 30,000 words of Elizabethan English, adding some visual flourish to the actors and the camera is an ideal choice.
I'll be your foil, Laertes, in mine ignorance. Your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
There are people who dislike the movie's excess and Ken's explosive performance.
Is this the prologue or the posy of a ring?
And we must forgive them.
The devil take thy soul!
It's not their fault. They're dead inside.
I only show that you'll show him. Be not you ashamed to show, he'll not shame to tell you what it meant.
I wish them a full recovery, because this is a film to be watched in awe. Take the ghost scene.
I am thy father's spirit.
It's very much directed as an old horror movie, with fog, shadows, dramatic lighting, earthquakes and the ground cracking open. Campy? Yes. Effective? Yes, sir.
List, Hamlet, list. Oh, list.
Hamlet and Junior talk in close-ups and extreme close-ups. It's an intense ghost sing directed as an intense ghost sing.
Revenge is foul and most unnatural murder. Murder.
And there's something strangely ballsy about hiring Brian Blessed and having him only speak through whispers.
Most horrible.
That's a sing that puts intensified in intensified continuity.
Yes, by heaven!
There are more sings that stick to the simple blocking trick of stand and deliver. Most noticeably, Ophelia's funeral is shot with actors standing still, shown mostly in singles or bidimensional groups.
A ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
But Branagh varies his blocking choices and editing speed incessantly, changing between acts, scenes, and beats. The virtuosic scene between Hamlet and Gertrude is one of Shakespeare and dramaturgy's greatest scenes.
Have you forgot me?
No, by the root, not so! You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife! And were it but not so, you are my mother!
In the film, it goes on for 13 minutes. It starts with ensemble staging on a chair.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue!
Polonia's skilled psycho style. It moves to the bed where it switches to shot counter shot.
Oh, speak to me no more! These words like daggers enter in my ears!
And it ends on the settee.
Oh, it's cleft my heart in twain.
Throw away the worser part of it and live the purer with the other half.
The play within the play film is an outstanding feat of editing, rapidly cutting to characters' reactions, glancing looks, restless extras, flashbacks, and some spying, all building up to a climax.
You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzalo's wife!
A little trivia. When I first watched the film on VHS, the first tape ended here.
Frighted with false fire.
How fares my lord?
Give order, play.
Hurry!
Give order, play.
You're the boss.
The direction stands out through the repeated use of walk and talk and long circular takes. We'll go through everything, but let's start off small.
Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space.
Branagh's extremely precise blocking deserves as much attention as the more obvious camera work. Viewers tend to notice the camera but ignore what the actors are doing.
I hope we've reformed that indifferently with us.
In moments of ensemble staging, the actors often rearrange themselves to help the camera emphasize who, for the moment, is the most important player. When Horatio picks up Hamlet's letter, he steps away from the sailors and closer to the following camera. When he needs to speak to them again, he returns to the previous setup. The camera always knows who's about to move, speak, or be spoken to. Where every actor is and where they're gonna be. Characters are often excluded from the screen when they're not immediately useful, only to be brought back when they're useful again.
Mad as the sea and wind when both contend which is the mightier.
Look you here. Claudius positions himself on the right. Gertrude, sitting in the middle, stands up and leaves the frame to the left. Polonius speaks to Claudius, so we only see the two of them. The camera arcs to frame them in a two-shot, placing a white fireplace in the middle. This noticeably empty space is soon filled by Gertrude, who has a line.
Look, how sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
There are three players in the shot again. Mind the steps Derek Jacobi and Richard Breyers take here. It's so they'll be standing on the right spot when the reframing is done and Julie Christie can return. Another three-way scene. We follow Claudius and Polonius to a dejected Ophelia, the father with his daughter on the right and the king plotting on the other side of the frame. Claudius leaves to the right, leaving only the other two on the screen. We have a brief paternal moment as the camera circles slowly. Now Polonius talks to Claudius,
My lord, do as you please.
who is included by the camera, that was already in motion even before Polonius turned to him. The camera stops and the king speaks. Foreground left.
It shall be so.
Through the combination of blocking and camera movement, you can follow long bouts of dialogue with any number of characters, from one to several, and you're always visually aware of their relations.
Can I pay you hastiness?
Here's Hamlet making Horatio stand up, taking him to the door, another secret passage, and getting him to sit down again. That's some good blocking. I don't care what anybody says, I don't care about believability, intention, motivation, whichever buzzwords the bores can come up with. A scene that makes an actor stand up just to sit down somewhere else on the other side of the room is well blocked.
Oh, is it that
that simple! Yes, it's that simple. And I mean this shot to point out how the camera didn't altogether keep up with the duo. The angle was tight, but after they moved to the other side, the camera remained in place, creating a long shot. It's only when Hamlet gets to monologuing about how cool and stoic Horatio is,
Give me that man that is not passion's slave,
that we approach them and achieve a medium shot.
I will pay the theft.
This is the film's common strategy when a character starts speaking for too long in the middle of a dialogue scene. The camera struggles, then it approaches.
The best actors in the world, either tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral comical, historical pastoral, tragical historical.
Pushing in is also useful in monologues.
Now can I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on.
If a character must speak for long, which knowing Billy will happen, having the camera slowly approach is a neat way to emphasize the words.
Bosom black as death, or limed soul, that's struggling to be free and more engaged.
Larry Olivier knew it from the start.
If it be so, Hamlet is of the faction that is wrong. His madness is poor Hamlet's enemy.
Ken also does the opposite. In My Thoughts Be Bloody, the greatest soliloquy, the camera pulls back. A lot.
But greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake.
In this scene, Hamlet is bitching about being an ineffectual pussy, and he wants to be like Fortinbras, the Prince Chad. F? Well, fuck you too, Mr. Billingsworth! So the camera reduces Hamlet, not making him insignificant, but making him similar to the soldiers in the background. It's a brilliant shot that shows what epic cinema is all about.
My thoughts be bloody!
By the way, in case you're learning something, like and subscribe. It will help you get more videos like this one.
Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft.
You can also join me on Patreon. Moving on, it's time to talk about the whale in the room.
Or like a whale!
The circular camera. This is the part I call Waltzing with Ken. This film is the single greatest case ever built for the arcing camera motion, because here it never compensates for static blocking. The camera works in accordance with the set and the actors, always following the game of excluding, including and emphasizing.
Heaven's face doth glow!
Here we circle with Claudius, who's circling Laertes, persuading him to join his side.
So that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, but not where I had aimed them.
The movement ends with this door above our characters, the door being conveniently used.
Well, no. What news?
Isn't it almost like the camera and Derek Jacobi knew? Let's go through this very roundy shot.
Where is Polonius?
Hamlet is brought to Claudius. Arc to find Horatio also manhandled in. We circle as Hamlet rambles while never missing how Claudius is impatient. As we finish a full revolution, Claudius speaks facing the camera.
Where is Polonius?
Which is in the right spot to capture Hamlet's profile after the slap.
In heaven.
The camera stops as Hamlet gives away the location of Polonia's body. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern on the sides.
He will stay till you come.
There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, with every beat happening at the right angle.
Do it, England!
Hope you found that shot simple, because it's time for the merry-go-roundest of them all. We have 6 characters, all speaking and active in the plot.
And can you, by no drift of confidence, get from him why he puts on this confusion?
We follow the king and his entourage, then arc as Rosencrantz and Guildenstern speak to him. Gertrude is revealed by the motion. Now she speaks.
Did he receive you well?
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern speak to her and the new ensemble excludes Claudius. When Polonius is in the foreground, he speaks, mentioning the king just as he is revealed in the back.
It is most true.
He approaches Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I'm sick of those names! They're RNG! He approaches RNG and now these 3 get the screen's full attention. The arc reveals the exit, which RNG take. The circle extends so Claudius can pull Gertrude and explain his plan, which includes Ophelia and Polonius, both recently revealed. They're excluded as Claudius keeps talking. Gertrude approaches her, then soon takes her leave, revealing an empty corner under the stairs. That's where Polonius takes Ophelia, while Claudius is brought back to the frame. Ophelia's duty done, she's excluded, and Polonius walks to Claudius, then to the new background. It finally stops in a close-up of Claudius.
Oh, heavy burden.
Every mark, every beat, every step, every angle, everything about this shot is in the right place at the right time. What the camera does is guide your attention across the drama. From this trio to this one, back to the first one, to this duo, then this one, and so forth.
I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
Contrasted to this calmer take from Act 3.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
RNG tried to talk to a hyperactive Hamlet,
My wit's diseased.
and the sober camera follows,
My lord, you once did love.
And do still by these pickers and stealers.
repeatedly framing them in ensemble compositions.
I will come by and by.
The only time we don't follow Hamlet is when Rosencrantz loses his composure and the camera seeks to find him.
My mother, you say?
Then thus she says.
Then it's back to business.
Do you think I am easier to be played upon than a pipe?
Time to talk about walk and talk.
Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Remember, these characters have a lot of talk to go through and many miles to walk before they sleep. So walk and talk abounds.
I do not believe. Believe what? That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge.
Often Ken mixes walk and talk with ensemble staging, plus the circling camera, making a mishmash of staging strategies.
In my mind's eye.
Here's a single take that uses a bit of everything. We circle past the pillars as Claudius talks to Aranage and servants work all around. We follow the king to the bed and catch more movement. We follow both the shoe shiner and Gertrude to the left, now circling to the other side. Pan with Gertrude to the king and we follow the entourage from the front. Walk and talk time. We West Wing style lose part of the group and follow Claudius, joined by Polonius, from the back. They stop for Polonius's good news and we circle, capturing Claudius's face as he gets excited. Polonius is exchanged for Gertrude. I approve.
And source of all your son's distemper.
Mind how satisfying it is to see all these fencers living in perfect order on the background. Having all that motion in the front and the back makes the royal court come to life.
This business is well ended.
If I were a producer spending all that money to build such an elaborate, interconnected and functional set, and the director didn't film a shot like this, I would murder him. I imagine this film is how Max Ophuls would have directed had he lived to the age of Steadicams. Gorgeously. After all, the first shot in Branagh's Henry V is very similar to the one in La Ronde.
Oh, for a muse of fire.
On the subject of influences, Ken also uses one of the favorite blocking methods of Woody Allen, a type of shot I call walk to walk and talk.
Indeed.
The camera is fixed in place, watching the actors approach from afar, until a wide shot turns tight. I speak in depth about this type of shot in my video on Woody Allen. Give it a go once you're done here.
Royal knavery.
Time to be extra candid. I do believe the film has a couple flaws. Tiny ones, but I'll point them out. The first scene has the worst, no, the only bad line delivery in the whole movie. It's from, I dread say, our great beloved Jack Lemmon. I'm so sorry, Jack, but look at the way he delivers this line.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy and will not let belief take hold of him. Touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us.
The enunciation, the dramatic head turn.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy and will not let belief take hold of him. Touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us.
How could this have happened?
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy and will not let belief take hold of him.
That can't have been the best take.
Touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us.
But the rest of his performance compensates completely.
Then no planet strike, no fairy takes, no witch hath power to charm.
God damn, you're forgiven, Jack.
The nights are wholesome.
But the film's one real problem is, believe it or not, Robin Williams.
Dost know this waterfly?
No, my good lord.
He was shot separately from the rest of the cast, and by Jove, how it shows!
Your grace has laid the odds of the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both.
In the final scene, we get all these ensembles and two shots, but every single time we see Osric, he's on his own.
This likes me well. These foils have all a length.
Aye, my good lord.
He's given these solitary reaction shots and they stick out so much once you know he's not really there with everyone else. When Laertes cuts Hamlet, there's this tense arcing motion showing every major player. Not Osric, he gets these random close-ups in the middle. Hey you guys, look at all these actors I'm totally acting with! From then on, there's a commotion and shots get rapidly shorter, so he fits better with the rest. At least Williams shared the screen with Branagh. At least the director was there, right?
Your lordship speaks most infallibly of him.
The interesting thing is, Rufus Sewell also shot his scenes separately, but it's never as obvious.
Where is this site?
Of course it helps when you show up after everyone else is already dead on the floor.
This quarry cries on havoc.
And this guy is so good! His acting is calm, collected, minimal, and he imposes such strong command.
So bloodily hast struck.
Here he speaks in the most authoritative monotone I've ever heard.
If that his majesty would aught with us,
The screenplay describes it as quiet menace.
we shall express our duty in his eye.
Don't ask me why, but that's it. It's one of the best understated performances I've ever seen, and I'm always shocked by how well he pulls it off.
Go softly on.
Yes, my lord. And Fortinbras is a badass name. It should be more common.
I will speak daggers.
Since I'm talking about how much I love Rufus Sewell's performance, there's something I must do. In some of his videos, Patrick H. Williams likes to list random things he loves in the movies he loves. And I love that. So allow me to list a bunch of random things I love in Hamlet.
This is too long.
It shall to the barbers with your beard!
Hamlet's wide claps while walking. Julie Christie saying thunders in the index.
Thunders in the index!
Billy Crystal delivering this line so kids can understand.
Get thee to Johann. Fetch me a stoop of liquor.
Fortinbras's men being ninjas. Francisco is watching the army in the distance and the soldier materializes behind him to snap his neck. This guard can't even see the ninjas sneaking upon him.
Attack!
These dramatic width-filling shots of Laertes' sword. This toy? Train? Aunt May being a damn fine classical thespian.
A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
For those who don't know, she's a Broadway legend. Claudius's politician smile after his gaffe.
Thanks, Rosencrantz, gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz.
Hamlet casually pushing Rosencrantz.
To withdraw with you, why do you...
This whatchamacallit here. If you're curious, it's an apparatus that makes the royal seal of Denmark. This Bugs Bunny moment. And Derek Jacobi's reaction. Polonia's evil eyebrows as he questions Ophelia. This.
To thy work!
How flushed Kate Winslet looks. Julie Christie saying, "You false Danish dogs."
Are you false Danish dogs?
The line, "My fate cries out."
My fate cries out!
I should use it more often.
By heaven!
These symmetrical shots in the player's speech. Right, left, middle.
The old billow as hush as death.
This kiss being timed to the chandelier. The royal family playing curling. Having a hooker in the room to explain what drabbing means.
Drabbing?
The soldier's entrance following the camera motion. How disciplined are these Norwegian ninjas? Nicholas Farrow as Horatio. He's great, but never mentioned. Here's to you, Nick.
As stars with trains of fire and dews of blood.
This David Lynch-style transition on similar sounds.
And can you...
The entire dialogue in the Gonzago play.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again, Count Orr, ere love be done.
It's beautiful.
Where love is great,
The littlest doubts are fear.
where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
People, stop cutting it all.
Our thoughts are ours. Their ends, none of our own.
Ditto for the Pyrrhus speech.
And never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars his armor forged for proof etern.
Setting this scene in a confessional. And even better, this scene too. Kate Winslet dragged across the hall. Words.
Words.
Charlton Heston.
Out! Out, thou strumpet fortune! All you gods in General Synod, take away her power!
Pairing up Billy Crystal with Simon Russell Beale. Ninjas stabbing Osric for no reason. And nobody cares. Of course, they never even saw him. Not even Osric's killer wants to share the screen with him. This beautiful shot, but don't get me started on those. This walk, wink, and everything here.
My lord! lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscius was an actor in Rome...
Claudius giving Gertrude a sudden tight hug.
Oh, come away.
The camera abandoning and shrinking Claudius and Gertrude at the end of this shot. This over-the-shoulder shot of Depardieu paying off when he grabs the hooker. The way Don Warrington says the Polack.
Against the Polack appeared to be a preparation against the Polack.
How seriously Kenneth takes the line, "Eat a crocodile."
Eat a crocodile? I'll do it!
Claudius and Gertrude being the cutest couple ever. Sir Richard Attenborough being that guy who arrived too late at the party.
And our affairs from England come too late.
Everything, every single little thing Derek Jacobi does and says. This is one of the most perfect performances I have ever seen. No, seriously, I must devote this part to some wholly necessary Derek Jacobi appreciation.
Oh, speak of that. That do I long to hear.
He's unbelievably good.
It happened so with us. Had we been there?
He's regal, kind, and assured. His delivery of so much for him.
So much for him.
He gives permission and orders with such charisma you want him as a leader.
We doubted nothing. Heartily farewell.
You can hear in his voice he truly likes Laertes.
No, Laertes! What's the news with you?
He speaks with some kind of natural sounding musicality.
Laertes, was your father dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
When he says "with all my heart,"
With all my heart!
I 100% believe it's with all his heart.
With all my heart!
And how he inclines his head to the other side so the camera can capture him.
With all my heart!
How he handles his glass is a lesson in why directors should make actors use more props. When he tries to take a sip but keeps getting interrupted by Hamlet.
Unused on purpose.
I see a cherub that sees them.
When he's persuading Laertes, he manufactures rapport that feels real.
Know you the hand?
Oh, it is Hamlet's character.
His spontaneous body language upon the name Lamorde seems genuine.
Upon my life, Lamorde. That they say. I know him well. He is the...
His delayed reaction when he realizes Gertrude has taken his poison cup.
He's fat and scant of breath.
The contempt and repressed anger in thy loving father.
My loving father, Hamlet.
Mother.
This.
Gertrude! Do not drink.
In Gertrude, you can hear him gasping, trying to retain propriety.
Gertrude!
In Do Not Drink, notice how his voice sounds casual while his eyes are anxious.
Do not drink.
He makes me not want this brother poisoner to die, which only makes this 400-year-old tragedy stronger. Everything he says, it's like he's making the words up as he goes along.
Oh, Gertrude. Come away.
There's no way that "Oh Gertrude, come away" wasn't improvised. I have no doubt he ad-libbed that line.
Oh, Gertrude. Come away.
You shouldn't tweak the bard, but really? How? I'm a huge fan of Olivier, McKellen, Gielgud, who's in the movie, not speaking. Sounds illegal. And Branagh himself. But here as Claudius, I believe Derek Jacobi proves himself to be the greatest Shakespearean actor of all time.
For all our thanks.
All time being cinema, of course. I can't speak about any actor before then, or those who only worked in theater. If you ask me, the only actor who worked exclusively in theater who managed to become famous was John Wilkes Booth. This is one of the wonders of cinema, isn't it? Immortalizing great performances.
The cannons to the heavens, the heaven to earth. Now the king drinks.
To Hamlet.
Curtain time, sweet viewers. I have watched Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet many times, and not nearly enough. And every single time, 3 hours and 48 minutes in, when Hamlet says, "I am dead, Horatio,"
I am dead, Horatio.
I am overcome with sorrow, and it cleaves my heart in twain. Why am I talking like this? Not only because of the tragical ending, but because I simply don't want this movie to end.
Wretched queen. Adieu.
Don't end, you marvelous movie decked in gold and glory. Have more plots, more shots, show me more. Show me what else that Swiss Army Hall can be used for. Medical operations? Raves? What about that dancing from the trailer? I wanted that too. Show me Claudius doing more stuff, going through an 8-course meal. How does he hold each fork and spoon? Show him passing taxing laws, I don't care, I just want to witness more Derek Jacobi being brilliant.
At night, we'll feast together.
Give me the complete Elsinore tour. I want to see every room, every hidden passage. Just speak more wondrous poetry. Go on forever, movie.
Morn in russet mantle-clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill.
In conclusion, yes, I would call Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet my favorite movie, and after going over it in such detail, I am even more surprised than I already was that this isn't a cliched choice.
I cannot dream of.
In style, it has the class of the old, it has the energy of the modern. As literature, it's unmatched. As cinema, monumental. And I can't wait to watch it again.